Hey guys, so welcome to my week 1 wrap-up video of the Strikebackvideoathon. If you don't know what it is because you've been living under a rock or whatever, I will leave a link down below to all 3 videos from Ben Sanders, That Bookie and G-Swizz, who have organised this challenge. But basically it's a 30-day challenge where you upload a video every single day. Unfortunately, I can't upload every single day because I only have basically 1 day a week currently to film, so I'm doing a big video all in one and uploading it on a Friday, apart from Wednesdays, where I will be uploading that day's prompt on my blog, which the link will be to down below. But without further ado, let's get right into it because I've waffled too much already. Day 1's prompt was your favourite books you've read because of BookTube. Now, I am horrendously behind on reading. I'm getting there with my reading challenge, but currently I'm playing catch up for all the books that I've missed. I spent 8 years out of the reading game. So for that reason, I haven't actually read any books because of BookTube yet, but I have bought a ton because of BookTube. So I thought I'd talk about those because they can't be my favourites yet. I haven't actually read them, but they are the ones that I'm really looking forward to. So because of BookTube, I have bought The Lies of Locke Lamora, which I was recommended by Thoughts on Tomes because this sounded really good from what she said, so I bought this one. I also bought the first 5 Percy Jackson books, well, partly because they were on offer, but partly because everyone keeps on saying how good they are, and I've never read them, don't kill me, so I'm planning on reading these at some point this year. I've also bought Invictus because of Kate from That Girl Reading, Dark Matter because Clara said it's really good, and the ones that I bought on Kindle are Queen of the Tearling and Nevernight, both of which were recommended to me by Clara. I then also got The Young Elites and Renegades because G-Swizz said they were really good, and I also bought Quiet Girl in a Noisy World because Kate said it was absolutely amazing. So I've got all of those. I've probably missed some, but that is sort of like the main ones in my mind at the moment. But I haven't actually read any of them yet, like I said, but most of them are now on my list to read either this year or next year. I don't actually know when I'll get to them. I'm hopefully getting some more reading time every week in like February, so I'm hoping I'm going to get through them, but at the moment I've got so many books that I need to catch up on that are considered classics. I will get to these eventually, but at the moment I've just bought them for whenever I get to them. The next prompt was 5 books you want to read this year, and I have talked about this quite a lot. I've got it on my 2018 to read list, which I will link to wherever the thing is up here. Because I'm actually getting through these books quite quickly, I'm already 5 books in, which makes me 2 days ahead, I think, of schedule according to Goodreads. So I'm going to say a couple of books that I haven't mentioned that are funny enough on the list of books that I've bought because of BookTube. Number 1 is Nevernight because Clara keeps on describing it as Hogwarts for Assassins, and that just sounds unbelievably epic to me, so I have to read that as soon as possible. I've also got Quiet Girl in a Noisy World because that is a collection of comics which is obviously all about being introverted, and I am very introverted and live in a very noisy house, so I feel like I'm really going to appreciate that book quite a lot, so I can't wait to get to it. Also, it's only going to take me about half an hour to read, so I'm going to read that on one of my more busy weeks, hopefully. I'm also going to say The Young Elites by Mary Lou because I keep on hearing about this everywhere, and G-Swizz keeps on talking about how good it is, and it's apparently about supervillains, and I love supervillains. So I really want to get to this one, but I have no idea when I'm going to get to it, but I'm saying this year because I've wanted to read that book for about 3 years now and I still haven't read it yet. So I'm putting my foot down and saying 2018 is the year for The Young Elites. I'm also going to say Percy Jackson, at least one of the Percy Jacksons. I'm not expecting to get through all 5 because that's ridiculous, quite frankly, but I'm hoping to get through at least one of them, or at least start the series at the very least, because I keep on hearing so many amazing things. I have read all of the chapter titles of all 5 books that I own, and it sounds absolutely hilarious, and I cannot wait to get to it. It's just that case of finding time to get to it. And the last one I want to read is How to Stop Time. This one I'm sort of more taking or leaving because the film's production is either starting this year or next year or something, so I may read this more around the time it comes out. But I just bought this the other day. I know that my favourite actor, Benedict Cumberbatch, is starring as the main character, and I want to know what it's all about. It's a bit of a love story, and I'm not really into love stories, but I wanted to give this a shot because it's been really highly recommended, and my favourite actor's adapting it, so I've got to give it a try at some point. So I'm thinking I may get to this one this year. I don't know. This may be the one that I sort of compromise on if I find something else I really want to read. Day 3's prompt was favourite fantasy reads, which could have been YA, NA or middle grade, and I have a couple of them, and some of these no one's going to be surprised at if you've been on this channel for 5 minutes, but if you haven't and you're new to my channel and you're still here because I've been waffling for a while, but my favourite author is Terry Pratchett, or at least he's one of my favourite authors, and I thoroughly enjoy his books, and I absolutely worship the ground he walks on. And every single year I read The Hogfather, which is a Christmas story set on his fictional world, the Discworld, where Death, as you can see on the front cover, takes over as the Hogfather, who is our version of Santa Claus, and delivers all the presents to all the kids on this specific Hogswatch night, so the sun will rise in the morning, because if the children don't believe in the Hogfather, the sun will not rise. And it's my absolute all-time favourite fantasy read ever. I'm not kidding, this book is incredible. I love it so much. It's just an absolutely fantastic book. I cannot recommend it enough. It's so funny, and it's just it's so fun. It's so fun and twisted, and it's such a great introduction to the world of the Discworld, because I'm a huge fan of the Discworld. I've only read a couple so far, but this entire shelf and the one below it is entirely Discworld, with only a few exceptions on the shelf below. But I absolutely love Terry Pratchett's writing. I highly recommend him to everybody. If you've been on this channel for 5 minutes, you know that The Hogfather is my Christmas tradition, and the Discworld is just a brilliant fantasy. It's sort of like this world, but it's slightly twisted. So Death has a granddaughter, and he turns up in quite a lot of the books, and he's really funny. You've got the Wizards of the Unseen University, who are useless at magic in every single way, and they're absolutely ridiculous characters, but they're so funny. And you've got like Mort, and you've got so many really fun characters and stuff, and these books are just so funny and absolutely brilliant. I highly recommend them to everybody who ever goes near a Terry Pratchett Discworld novel. Seriously, you have to pick them up and read them. Another one of my favourites is Skullduggery Pleasant. I haven't read this specific book yet because I'm only on book 3, but I'm already obsessed. I have loved these books since I was a kid. I only read up to book 2 because I'm an idiot at the time, but I absolutely love Skullduggery. He's more of a middle grade novel where he is a skeleton detective, and he goes around trying to save the world from mystical threats, and it's set in Ireland, so it's quite a sort of more local thing to me, which I really enjoy. It's also told through the main character's point of view, who is Valkyrie, who is a 13-year-old girl who gets swept up in all of this because her grandfather was friends with Skullduggery. And what I love about these is that they're really gory, despite the fact that they're kids' books. They are definitely a middle grade, but they're really quite gory in places and quite scary. The author never really talks down to to his audience, and it's really funny in places, and it's just really good and really plot twisty and things like this, and I absolutely love these books. They're quite quick reads despite how fat they are. Well, this is the fattest one I own. This is book 5, but it's got really good cliffhangers in it and things like this, and it's just an absolutely brilliant read with so many really fun, cool characters and such good world building. I highly recommend reading Skullduggery Pleasant. Then if you like your gore, I would also say I Hate Fairyland is a really good fantasy. I think it's counting as a fantasy. I'm going to count it as a fantasy, correct me if I'm wrong. But it is a comic book series all about a 6-year-old girl who gets stuck in Fairyland for 30 years, and she goes a bit crazy, shall we say, and she runs around with an axe and like various weapons, killing everything that moves to try and get out of Fairyland. And it's a really funny, sick and twisted comic book, but it's one of my absolute favourites of all time. It's so funny in so many ways, and if you're like me and you like slightly twisted, dark sense of humour. Basically, if you like Deadpool, you'll really like I Hate Fairyland. That's how I put it. If you like Deadpool or Kingsman or Kick-Ass or anything like that, and you want to read something that sort of subverts fairy tale genre, definitely read I Hate Fairyland by Scotty Young. You will laugh your head off the whole way through. It's so funny. I absolutely love it. Day 4 was favourite musics and favourite books, the songs that sort of remind you of your favourite books. And I don't really have that many, to be honest. I generally sort of associate music more with TV shows and films, but I do have two. Oh, the lights just flickered. I don't know if you saw that, but the lights just flickered. That was worrying. I have two songs that I will say for this one. One of them is called Boys in Books, which is by Carrie Hope Fletcher, and it's essentially a song about how boys in books are just better than boys in real life, essentially. She talks about the boys from Harry Potter, so Harry, Ron, Draco and Cedric. She also talks about Peter and Gale from The Hunger Games, Darcy from Pride and Prejudice, and then Edward, Jacob, Emmett and Jasper from Twilight, which is quite fun, and it's sort of like, it's got some really quite nerdy lyrics in it and things, and I just sort of really like relate to that song quite a lot, simply because it's got like loads of lyrics about how boys in books are better, and I have to agree with that, and it's just really, really catchy, essentially. So I'd highly recommend looking up that song. And then in more recent years, I have read a book called Failure to Communicate, which is a book which is basically the most diverse book I've ever read and the most relatable book I've ever read, because the main character is autistic. I have Asperger's, so it sort of feels like it's a really relatable character to me, and the book sort of focuses, it's a sci-fi, but it sort of focuses all around how, even though the main character has autism, she's not any less than anybody else, and that really reminds me of This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. That song makes me want to cry because I relate to it so much, but it's such a good, brilliant song, and it reminds me of Failure to Communicate so much, because both have this brilliant message of the fact that even though you may be different from others, you're still worthy and you can still achieve your dreams and stuff like that, and that means a lot to me. So that's what I'd say for sort of a book and music association song. Day 5 was 5 sequels you would like to read. This one, I did answer this one on my blog, because essentially I have been slacking in blogging last year and I'm trying to get back into it, so I'm trying to post every Wednesday possible, and this was Wednesday's prompt, so I will leave a link down below to that if you want to check that out. It's all about the 5 sequels I want to read. I have mentioned a couple before, but I've tried to sort of think outside of the box of the things that I've already said so far, because I've done quite a few posts about sequels and things I want to read. So if you want to check that out, the link will be down below. Number 6 was bookish merch. Now, I have only got 2 Fairy Loot boxes down here. You can't actually see them, but they are down here, which was the Villains box and the Tricksters box, but everyone sort of does unboxings and things like that, so if you want to know what are in those, I would highly recommend going and checking out other people's unboxings for these things to see what's in them, because I really don't have time to unpack those right now. But there was sort of like stuff with like Moriarty quotes on there and Loki quotes and things like that, and even though I'm more fan of the shows and the films that they were in, they still started out in either legend or book form, so I'm going to count those. And then I also have all of these pops, and I'm going to count these because all these characters started out as comic book characters, so I'm just going to show you these now. On this bottom shelf we have She-Hulk, Groot, Gamora and Star-Lord, and then we go up to Magneto. Is my finger pointing there? Yeah, it is. We've got Black Widow and Scarlet Witch. Then we go up to my favourite, who is Stephen Strange, and also we've got Tony Stark. And then we go up to see Castiel. I'm stopping pointing now. Dean Winchester and the 10th Doctor. I'm counting these simply because they have been put into book form, so I'm going to count them. And then all the way up here we've also got Spider-Man, Bellatrix Lestrange and Snape, who are definitely book characters, so I'm counting those. Upstairs I've also got 16 more pop vinyls of Sherlock Holmes, 2 more Stephen Stranges, Loki, Thor, Hulk, all of which are comic book characters or were originally book characters, so I'm going to count those as well. I've got my Harry Potter hoodie. I've also got a charm bracelet with 2 things from Fantastic Beasts, as well as a TARDIS. I've got a TARDIS necklace, a Sherlock Holmes necklace. What else do I have? Samuel necklace from Supernatural. I'm counting the Supernatural stuff because you can get books of their stuff, so you can get mini stories in book form, as well as John Winchester's journal and Bobby's journal. I own John Winchester's journal, so I'm counting that. I've also got a shield necklace as well, at least a shield pendant, and I've also got, I can't tell if you can read that, but that says Sherlock Holmes, and that one says Loki's Army. So I have quite a lot of sort of bookish merch. It's sort of more film merch and TV merch, if I'm honest. All of them have book either adaptations or originally started as books or comic books, so I'm counting them don't judge me. I'm sort of in the process of getting more book merch, but I don't have that much space at the moment or that much money. 7 is classics I want to read, and this one's quite hard. The stuff I consider classics is kind of Victorian stuff that I don't really want to read because I can't really get into that style of writing, if I'm honest. It doesn't exactly confuse me, but it's just something I can't get into, and it's about subjects I can't get into. And the one book that I have read is Jekyll and Hyde, and I didn't really enjoy that. But saying that, I do want to read Frankenstein at some point because I love Frankenstein. I saw the play of it. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I have seen the James McAvoy film and absolutely loved it, and things like this. So there are adaptations that I like of Frankenstein, and I do want to read Frankenstein at some point just to see what the book's like, to be honest. But I'm really scared that I'm gonna not like it, so I'm kind of putting it off at the moment. The same goes for Sherlock Holmes. I'm a big, huge fan of BBC Sherlock, if you can't tell. I'm a huge fan of BBC Sherlock, so I'm definitely gonna read that at some point if I get the chance. Possibly. I also kind of want to read the Poldark novels because I really like Poldark. And then, please don't kill me, but Harry Potter. I read up to book 4 when I was a kid, but got distracted, and I really shouldn't have. But currently they're all in my loft. We're hopefully getting the stuff out of the loft soon, so I'm hopefully going to read those at some point. Please don't kill me for that. Please don't kill me. I'm a terrible human being, I know, and I'm a terrible reader, I know. Please don't kill me. That is the end of the first week worth of prompts for this video Strikebackvathon. I'm saying that wrong, but I've literally got less than a minute left on my camera time, so I'm going to have to hurry this up. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do give me a thumbs up if you did. Comment down below if you agree with anything I said or any of your own answers or any of your videos that you want me to check out. Please tell me those down below. I want to see more booktubers and everything. That'd be great. But if you like this video or anything like that, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But I'll see you next week for week 2. Until next time, guys, bye.